The paradox of plenty, food insecurity in urban landscapes. It is a common misconception that hunger is only a problem in developing nations or rural areas. In reality, many of the world's wealthiest cities face a significant challenge known as urban food insecurity. This creates a striking paradox. While metropolitan areas are often centers of immense wealth, high-tech industry, and abundant resources, a large portion of their population struggles to access nutritious meals. This issue is not caused by a global lack of food, but rather by the complex way food is distributed and priced within the city. The primary driver of urban hunger is socioeconomic inequality. In wealthy cities, the cost of living, including rent, utilities, and transportation, has risen dramatically due to inflation. For many low-income families, these essential expenses consume the majority of their monthly budget, leaving very little money for high-quality groceries. Consequently, even when food is physically present in a city, it remains economically out of reach for vulnerable populations, forcing them to prioritize cheaper, calorie-dense but nutrient-poor options. A major contributor to this crisis is the rise of food desert. A food desert is an urban area where residents have very limited access to affordable, nutritious food, such as fresh fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. In these neighborhoods, large supermarkets are often absent, replaced instead by convenience stores and fast food restaurants. These smaller shops primarily stock highly processed foods that are high in sugar and salt but low in essential vitamins. Therefore, the problem is not just about a lack of money, but also a lack of geographic accessibility. The implications of food deserts extend far beyond simple hunger. They create long-term public health crises. Because residents in these areas rely heavily on processed foods, there are higher rates of chronic health conditions, such as obesity, diabetes, and hypertension, even in populations that may technically be consuming enough calories. This creates a cycle of poor health that is difficult to break, as the lack of healthy options leads to physical weakness, which can further limit a person's ability to work and improve their economic situation. Addressing food insecurity requires more than just charity. It requires systemic change in urban planning and economic policy. Some cities have seen success with community-driven initiatives, such as urban gardens and mobile grocery markets that bring fresh produce directly into underserved neighborhoods. By improving the infrastructure of food distribution and making healthy options more affordable, cities can begin to bridge the gap between the abundance of wealth and the reality of hunger. Vocabulary list. Questions. Write true, T, or false, F, for each question based on the passage provided. 1. Food insecurity is a phenomenon that occurs only in rural areas and developing countries. 2. The paradox mentioned in the text refers to the fact that wealthy cities can still experience hunger. 3. Rising costs of living, such as rent, can contribute to the problem of food insecurity. 4. In a food desert, residents typically have easy access to large supermarkets. 5. Food deserts are characterized by an abundance of fresh fruits and vegetables. 6. Convenience stores in food deserts tend to sell foods that are high in sugar and salt. 7. Urban food insecurity is strictly a result of people's personal choices rather than geographic access. 8. Chronic health issues like diabetes can be a consequence of living in a food desert. 9. The text suggests that the issue of food deserts is easy to solve with simple charity alone. 10. Urban gardens are mentioned as a potential way to help improve access to fresh food.